Well, T-Bear, we've now seen all the sculptures and it's time to see what was voted as the best. And just on a personal note, there was a lot of great fashion on display.
Fashion there was, but the time and effort that's gone into some of these sculptures is unbelievable. Let's see who the award winners are for 2018.
Excuse me. I will start tonight's proceedings with a short welcome to country. We acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional owners of this land, and we acknowledge their contribution, their life to the role of this region. Welcome to the lovely, lovely Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club. This is what I always say is a fantastic occasion. It's a combination of art, sport, community. Many people believe us to be a sporting club or a life-saving club, but the reality is we are much more than that. We're an essential part of community and we focus on community. We have life-saving programs where we patrol the beach and maintain life. We provide first aid. We provide life-saving courses such as how to do CPR and first aid and keeping the community skills, and we provide support to the local community wherever we can. Programs like the Sculptures Competition, our Brighton Jetty Classic, are essential to that. So for everyone, whether they're an artist, they're an entrant, they're a visitor, they're a sponsor, they're a contributor, council, government, I thank you on behalf of us and the community for allowing us to provide the services that we provide. So welcome tonight. I hope you've all enjoyed the event. Good luck to our entrants. There's some fantastic entries out there and I feel very sorry for the judges for the job they've had to do today, but they put themselves in that position, so I won't feel too sorry for them. Congratulations to our winners, congratulations to all, and thank you for coming. So first up, I'll introduce Kim Roseley, who's our MC for tonight.
Thank you, Chris, and another welcome to the 2018 Patriti Brighton Jetty Classic Sculptures exhibition. The Sculptures Committee and the Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club are very proud to be launching this, our 11th exhibition. Some special welcomes. First, to Inez Patriti, the Managing Director of our local Patriti Wines, our major and naming rights sponsors. It's great to have Patriti on board. Amanda Wilson, the Deputy Mayor of the City of Holfast Bay. David Spears, local member for Bright. Corey Wingard, local member for Mitchell. Nicole Flint, federal member for Boothby. David O'Loughlin, the Mayor of the City of Prospect. Glenn Doherty, the Mayor of the City of Playford. And Matt Osborne, the Deputy Mayor of the City of Port Adelaide Enfield. This year's exhibition is characterised by several significant factors. First, there has been further growth. A wonderful increase in the number of young artists' entries. We have 11 this year, and that's a record. The necessity to beg Santos for a larger marquee to cater for more indoor sculptures, and an essential pre-selection process to enable us to manageably showcase the works. So there are some characteristics of this year's exhibition. We continue to be amazed and delighted for our club, our community, the City of Holfast Bay, and our state. Last year, this event attracted more than 100,000 visitors. Some of us remember our first exhibition was launched in 2008 with just 34 sculptures by 14 artists. This year we received over 175 entries by 100 plus artists, and that includes entries from Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania and Western Australia, joining our own home state artists. We congratulate and thank all of our participating artists. You are an enthusiastic, creative and supportive bunch, and who at times give us more grey hairs than we need, especially on installation days. It's a bit like trying to herd cats. But without you, we would not have an event, so well done. We are proud to say that over the past 10 years, this event has raised more than $200,000 for Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club and its core business of saving lives. And we are hoping that this year's proceeds will go towards a much needed patrol tower. That might be a bit political, but it's on a lot of people's lips. I would like to thank and acknowledge all of our fantastic sponsors. It is now with pleasure that I welcome and introduce Inez Petriti to officially open the exhibition. Welcome, Inez.
Thank you very much to everyone for being here this evening. It's such a lovely crowd and such a lovely evening. I'd like to first of all thank Colleen Slattery. She's got me up here, for goodness sake. Last year, Carla, our marketing manager, and I came along, and it was through Colleen that we found that there was an opportunity available for sponsorship. And of course, we didn't even think about it. It's something that we were so pleased to do. Now, I'll just say a few words because Petriti's really does have a connection with this area. So, just a few words. When my father, Giovanni Petriti, came to Adelaide in 1925, he was very old when he had me, okay? He was immediately drawn to the area, then known as Brighton, because the divisions weren't done until later. He saw the region's agricultural potential and within a few years of arrival leased vineyards and then built himself a winery. The buildings that he first built were of corrugated iron and local seaweed here for the roofing insulation. So of course things have changed since then. For over 90 years the winery has still remained on the original site. Now Petriti is suburban Adelaide's only 100% family owned, fully operational winery. And our flagship wine is called JPB, which stands for John Petriti Brighton, after my father, who Australianised his name, of course, soon after he arrived. We're very proud of that wine, and it has won many awards, both in Australia and internationally. Personally, I'm very proud of the region that has supported our family business, and I'm also a keen supporter of the arts in my own little way, but I also believe that winemaking is a form of art. So it all just melds in together. So what a fantastic opportunity for Petriti to support such a significant event in our area, especially as proceeds go to the Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club. Now we've watched the event grow every year, showcasing more local and interstate artists and bringing an ever-increasing number of visitors, as you mentioned before, something like 100,000 last year, to this fantastic part of South Australia. Thank you to all the artists who have dedicated their time and talent to create the amazing pieces on display. And thank you to the hard-working Brighton Jetty Sculptures Committee for organising this fantastic event. I truly feel privileged to be able to support this event and look forward to another successful Brighton Jetty Sculptures for 2018. And I'm proudly delighted to formally open the 2018 Brighton Jetty Sculptures.
Well, that was fantastic, Inez, and that just typifies community. How fabulous to have a family, local business, about 1 kilometre as the crow flies, to be our flagship. Well done, it's great. It's now time to hear from our judges. These two people had the unenviable task of deciding on winning entries. The panel consisted of, and ABC took my thunder, Peter Hyson, grandson of the famed South Australian artist Sir Hans Hyson, and a former councillor of the city of Holdfast Bay, and a long-time supporter of our event. And Alexander Sideris, an artist of 20 years, working both in commercial galleries and government institutions. And Alexandra would like to speak to us on behalf of the judges. Welcome, Alexandra.
I just realised I forgot my glasses. Get up here. I'm going to be a bit nervous, but I'll give it my best shot. Hello and good evening. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here tonight. Yesterday, along with Peter, I had the honour of judging the Brighton Jetty submissions for this year's Sculptures event. And tonight I get to share the fruits of our decision making. The first thing that struck me when viewing the works was a feeling of community that such an event brings. The collaboration and care, attention to detail. I saw the tail end process of installation, last minute adjustments to entries by artists and family, volunteers sitting the works, council and engineers checking safety requirements, and the social club doing some well-needed life-saving. One thing is for certain, I'm not a stranger to large public art events such as this. From working at Sculpture by the Sea in Bondi, New South Wales, I understand the enormous task of undertaking an event of this scale. From the logistics of installation, to curatorial decisions, the process is lengthy, it can be complex and challenging. When we viewed the work along the foreshore, I looked as both an artist and an arts administrator, a job for two hats. I had the privilege of assessing submissions for public sculpture works for the City of Sydney. It's never an easy task because you are dealing with many factors. Each work individually has, and as a part of a whole, including the heart and the head. We looked at how the work sat within the landscape and what the work had to say to us, the concept conveyed and the materials used. Albeit a subjective view, I imagined how I feel when I'm in the studio making sculptural work, my motives and desires, why I chose the materials I did and the feeling when it's finished. Then I imagine being judged by my peers and my heart on my sleeve. It's important to remember that at this event, along with the winners chosen, the artistic merit and dedication in this room tonight tells me of the drive to create and share those creations with others. That's really important as artists and for humanity, don't you think? We came to the decision on the winners after carefully looking at all the works inside the marquee and along the beachfront. We looked and talked and looked again. We chose works which showed a seamless merging of materials and concept, when the whole is more than the sum of its parts, and capturing of something almost intangible, made solid and tactile. Unless I'm viewing art in a museum, I tend to leave the artist's statement until the end. I think it's important to capture the essence and the spirit as you see it before you are told of the artist's intentions. The winners chosen reflects the event and also the current zeitgeist. The materials show how dependent we are on what the earth provides, how some artists preserve by using existing structures, others forage, and some use ancient methods of melting molten metal. We can't make it without borrowing from the land in some way. Standing here with the ocean behind us, you can't help but think of our connection and what part we play. On behalf of Peter Hyson and myself, we thank you for showing us your inner workings, talent and skill. All of the artists that have given us these visual riches deserve a big fat round of applause. What do you reckon?
Thank you, Alexandra, very much. And to show our appreciation, I call on Head Curator of Sculptures Committee, Colleen Slattery, to make a presentation to Alexandra and Peter. Well, thank you very much, judges, and what a great summary of their thinking and their selection process. You know, as I said, it's an unenviable job, but it was a very well explained process. Now it's that very important part of the night. It's announcing the winners, and so it's now my pleasure to introduce some of our sponsors, who will announce the winning entries and present the cheques, and also allow the winning artists to respond. We hope they might feel comfortable about saying a few words when they're announced. So let's kick it off. And first of all, the best outdoor sculpture. And that's Inez is going to announce and present that prize.
Do I get to open an envelope?
Yes.
So the winner for the outdoor sculpture is Carl Meyer. Carl Meyer. Great. Isn't that wonderful? And would you please be sure to hand that on to me?
Absolutely.
Okay. We've all seen you take that. Would you like to say a few words?
No, I'm a bit speechless, to be honest. Yeah.
But I'm sure he'd be
Well,
delighted.
absolutely delighted, yeah. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. And our technologists are displaying the entries as they're announced. So there is foci that is on the beach down here, absolutely looking fantastic. And there's also a maquette of foci in the indoor sculptures up here in the end if you would like to see it. Now, the runner-up for the indoor sculpture will be presented by Amanda Wilson, our Deputy Mayor of the City of Holfast Bay. Great, Amanda.
Thank you. The runner-up for outdoor sculpture is Chris Murphy, Infinity.
It doesn't look like it's here. Okay, so Chris isn't here. Do you want to
I'm sure Chris would say thank you. And I'm sure it'd also say thank you to all the 100 volunteers who worked tirelessly on putting this exhibition and a wonderful sculpture into place. And to thank all of the people that are on the volunteer committee as well who worked tirelessly during the year.
Great. Cheers. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. The next category is the Best Indoor Sculpture, and that will be presented by David Whitwer on behalf of Larry Collins, Century 21, Bayside, Brighton.
Thanks, Kim. Look, before I present this, I'd just like to reiterate a lot of the thoughts of a lot of the people. This event undoubtedly is the best 2 weeks in Brighton. To see all those people enjoying the foreshore, enjoying our wonderful community here, it's sensational. tonight is a night where we recognise the artists, and unfortunately only a few win. But when you see the people taking photos, everyone's a winner. But without a few groups, and in particular the committee that actually puts this event together, and the hundreds of volunteers with all of those hours to make it happen, and the sponsors, none of this would happen. So I'd like to raise a toast to all of the sponsors and particularly to all of the volunteers. So Larry's a good friend of mine, and he's been a great supporter of this event for a number of years. And so I can proudly announce the winner of the indoor sculpture is Ken Martin for Sweet Wet Seed. Oh, beautiful.
I'm actually Ken Martin for tonight. Ken lives in Port Lincoln, and 4 years ago Ken was a judge. He was the most delightful man, and I have nagged him every year to join. And finally I got an email saying, "You've done it, I'm doing it." And he sent over 3 pieces, and he's promised that he's coming to the opening next year. So he'll be thrilled. He has no idea, so he'll be just so thrilled.
And there's his great bronze work on the screen, and it is on display upstairs in the indoor gallery. Okay, now the runner-up for the indoor sculpture will be presented by our President Chris Parsons from the Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club.
The runner-up for the indoor prize is Kim Billette, Ancient Mariner. I can see him walking through.
Thank you. This is a wonderful surprise, and been coming along to this event for a few years now, and yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for us as artists, and I'd like to thank Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club for putting this on, coming up with the initiative in the first place, and it's a fantastic community event and fantastic opportunity for artists. So thank you again.
The next award is for the Young Artist category, and that is for an artist aged 15 to 26 years, and this is going to be presented by Deanne Rank. Deanne is a sponsor, she's a member of the committee and a great supporter of our event. Well done.
Fantastic, thanks. And you know, I'd like to reiterate what David said, because we are all one community, and when I first came here from Sydney, dare I say, I was welcomed by this club. It was the first thing I did to join, and it's just fantastic family for me, even though I haven't been here as much as I'd like to be. So my winner, the youth. You know, this is the pipeline. The youth are coming up, and they're the ones that are going to be doing what the older ones are doing now. So we're so thrilled that they're all putting themselves together and joining the family and continue to grow. So the winner is Flynn O'Malley for Tuna. He's not here. And Mum, well of course, behind every great young youth is a mother. Congratulations.
Flynn couldn't come because he was too scared. And thank you very much to everyone, and especially to Colleen, because Flynn got back to work, which is monumental, after a big break for health reasons. So, thank you.
Even more deserving. Well done.
Colleen would like me to say something about Flynn, and wonderful young man who in 2015 had a double lung transplant. And leading up to the pre-transplant was pretty tricky because we are a beach family and he had a end-stage medication which meant he couldn't go for a swim, which meant I didn't go for a swim. None of us went in the water, but he's alive and he's testament to everyone to get out there and register for organ donation. And he's back at work because this is what got him back to work. He woke up one morning and said, I'm going to go back to my welding. And it's just, as parents, to see him pick up his welder and do something creative. And thank you to the judges and everybody. I'm sorry, but it's a big journey.
How you going, guys? It's T-Bear here, and I'm down for the Petriti Classic Sculptures Exhibition 2018. Standing with me at this time is the winner of the Young Artist Award. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much, mate.
Now, this is a sensational piece. Can you tell us a little bit about what went into it?
So it's basically made of recycled metals, recycled motorbike gearboxes, sprockets, that kind of thing. Yeah, that and a few hours and a bit of blood. Yeah. Bit of blood, nice. Now, have you been creating for long? I've been doing it now for about 6 years. So with a long break in between, just with some health issues. So yeah.
Now, in relation to the long break, obviously we were here for the awards night. Your mum accepted the award for you.
Yep.
And she did sort of let us know a little bit about sort of what went on. Would you like to tell sort of people what you've been through to be here, I guess?
Sure, yeah. So I had a fairly rare lung condition called idiopathic primary pulmonary hypertension. It's a slight mouthful. Basically, it puts an extreme amount of pressure onto the right side of your heart, which puts you at risk of stroke or heart failure. So in 2015, I had to have a lung transplant, and the work up to that, I was quite sick, so I had to take a very long break, and recovering from the transplant was obviously a fair bit of time. So once again, another bit of a break, and yeah, finally got back into it late last year. So.
Nice. Now, I believe you're also getting to meet the Governor of Adelaide or South Australia today as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a great pleasure to meet him, so yeah.
No worries. Well, yeah, thank you very much for your time. And I said, this is a sensational piece. I do believe it sold over the weekend as well, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And yeah, hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Sounds great.
That is a truly great result and a great journey. The next award is the Environmental Awareness Award, and this is presented by Dolores Pilkington, Brighton Road Podiatry.
Our last award just shows the diversity in this community and this event. It's just fantastic. I'm presenting the winner of the Environmental Award, which goes to Penny Frankel, Layers of Life.
Now, we're not sure if Penny is here or not, but what we do know is that Penny is a student from Waikerie Area School, and she put in a most unique entry, which is down in the marquee. So we haven't heard whether she was coming or not tonight. So we will hang on to that for her, but please make your way when you have time to look at her entry. It is an amazing piece. The picture doesn't really do it justice, but it is made out of recycled paper that has been cut with a really strong environmental message. So a very, very unique piece, and well done to her. The last award tonight is the Emerging Artists Award, and that is for artists who have practiced professionally for less than 5 years. And this is presented by Claire Whitwer from My Plan Manager. Thank you.
Okay, we're a local business. We're just down the road on Brighton Road, and we're an emerging business, so we understand what it's like to be an emerging artist, I guess. When you're putting yourself out there with something new, it's really really exciting, but it gives you a sense of purpose. So we're really proud to be involved in presenting the emerging artist. Yeah, that's what my Plan Manager is about, supporting people who are trying to reach goals, and we actually help them by sorting out what supports they actually need and working out their funding and assisting them. And they're all clients of the NDIS. So that's what my Plan Manager is about. And the emerging artist tonight, who has obviously worked hard and had to get together, that you know, you have to overcome a lot of barriers when you put yourself out for the first time. So it's great to see that there's lots of emerging artists out there. But Robert Wooldy is the emerging artist, Kurungi Basket.
My wife said you should write something down. So I did, with her help. I'd like to thank the judges to start with, and all the sponsors, the organisers, the workers, the volunteers that work hard to put this all together. I've been creating for a long time, as far back as I can remember, but this is like my third year actually sculpting. And it's turning out pretty well while I look at it. Sculpture really is a beautiful way to celebrate my culture, and I'm really very happy to share this with you all. The Kurungi is a men's basket, the larger one, and the sister basket is actually a women's basket. We made them, well, I made them. I say we because my wife is so supportive, and I'm really thankful for it. And I'm really happy to share the culture. They were actually made with reeds, bulrushes from the Kurong, but we used wire. Good evening, and wow. I think that's about it, except I would really like to thank my wife, Kerry Lakwanami Wooldy, and have a good evening, everybody. Thank you.
And I'm currently standing with Robert. He is the emerging artist down at this 2008 Sculptures competition. Now, Robert, I saw these baskets yesterday. So much work has gone into them. But I believe there's a bit more of a backstory.
Yeah, there is. These two baskets, this is a Kurungi and this is a sister basket. They're both from the Tangani, or the Ngaranjiri, and these were usually made with the reeds that were gathered around the lakes or around the Kurong. And this year I decided, well, instead of weaving them out of bushes, rushes, I thought I'd use the galvanised wire, and they look stunning. They look stunning. There's about 4 kilos, nearly 4 kilos of wire here. That's nearly a kilometre of wire in that one. I'm really happy with them, and you know, I've won Emerging Artist. I'm really happy with that.
So there's a lot more to it than just, obviously we see it as pieces of art, but you know, you've got a lot more, I guess it's almost cultural that you're able to share your knowledge.
Well, yes, yeah. That's the other thing is that this is a men's basket and this is a woman's basket. The sister basket was called a sister basket because of the two pieces are woven separately and then put together. And the Kurungi was like a men's weapons basket, and it was made specifically to so all the handles of the clubs and stuff were thin, but they didn't fall out because of the larger bottom, you know. Yeah.
Now, I know this is only, I think, your second or third year here, but I believe you've been involved in art in some way for a little bit of time yourself?
Well, yeah, I trained in performance back when I was a really young boy, about 1920, and I worked in the theatre for a good long time. But I've been making stuff for ages, and it's only the last 2 years that well, 3 really, that I've actually been putting stuff out there. Most of my stuff were gifts to friends, and I'd sell every now and again, but I've made the move into the open world, and here I am, you know. I'm starting to win things, and I'm really happy.
Well, definitely, I can say congratulations, Robert. Very nice items. Thanks for having a chat. And yeah, good luck, and I'm sure we'll see you again next year.
And well, you can see one of Robert's winning piece, but his two beautiful woven stainless steel pieces are upstairs against the window, so please make sure you have a look and admire them. Thank you so much for those sponsors, and a hearty congratulations to the winners. There are two more prizes that you people will help determine, and that is the People's Choice Awards. And I think they're worth $1,000 each for the best indoor and the best outdoor. And at every location upstairs and in the marquee, and there are post boxes down on the esplanade, there are People's Choice voting slips. And you, the public, determine who those winners will be. So please make sure you have a good look and make sure that your vote counts and your wish gets in the box. And those winners will be announced on the morning of the Brighton Jetty Classic Swim on Sunday, the 4th of February, just after midday. I think that's the case. Okay, you must be dry. I'm very dry, and we've nearly finished. In closing, I would like to thank the Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club and members for their assistance with preparing the event and waiting on us tonight at this official opening. Great bar staff and great food preparation people throughout the whole evening. Well done, team. It's super. And also, very importantly, thank you to the army of volunteers who helped with the installation of the exhibits, and those who are rostered to supervise the sculptures over the next 12 days. What have we got? Nearly 200, Andrea. I think? Around that. And Andrea coordinates. Okay. Look, thank you for all attending, and hopefully for your ongoing support and participation. Enjoy the beautiful sunset and the view. Get a drink and enjoy the rest of the night. Thanks for coming. Cheers.
Well, T-Bear, we have our winners and so many pieces that deserve their spot in this year's event.
There was absolutely fantastic sculptures down there. I was lucky enough to get to speak with a few of the artists. Flynn O'Malley, his story is pretty much heartwarming.
Absolutely.